Good morning, everybody. And I'm sorry I look like a crazy person this morning. I just got done working out and I realized that our weekly video for some reason did not upload. I see it in there, but it's not happening. So I'm like, you know what? No matter, know what, let's do this weekly video. I'm going to give you the weekly update of what's going on. And remember, you can also check out what's going on and get your weekly update at the astrologyhub.com podcast. The link will be in the description box down below. You can always check out what's coming for the week in a little bit more detail. On the podcast because I'm there now. I'm the master astrologer over there. So wonderful. Thank you so much for the as well. Thank you so much for all the love, all the support, all the good stuff. We're rocking around here. I'm getting Stormie Grace ready for 2020. And before the year is over, I've still got good things coming for us. So hold on to your hair, okay? All right, let's get you the weekly and let's get you out. So this is the weekly horoscope for all signs for the week of August 5th. And this, I think, is a much different week than we had last week. We had a lot of Uranian influence happening last week. And some people, including Stormie Grace, could feel themselves being like, just like a little bit tight last week. But this week is actually lovely. We've got Jupiter making 2 different trines. He's also going to turn directions this week. We've got Mercury making a move back into Leo, which is always good for confidence, for conversation, for getting things done, all of this good stuff. Plus, it will be Mercury's second visit to Leo because remember he was here in a retrograde energy. So we'll get a second visit kind of buzz. And we've got Uranus, who is going to go retrograde. Now, I think you have to make friends and be cool with the retrograde energies because they're actually trying to help us. So this Uranian energy is going to really put us in a position where it's like, if you're afraid of that, if you're afraid of getting bigger, let's create freedom. So we're going to break down a fair amount of barriers this week. And I have to tell you guys, and I cannot stress this enough, August and September are critical months of progress because this is the time where you will see this progress that you're making in August and September. It will show up for you in 2020. 2020, we have got a fair amount of personal planets taking retrogrades, and it is harder to push forward when we have those. The retrogrades are beautiful. We need to make friends with them, but it is a little bit harder. So pay attention to what you're doing and how you're using your energies here in August and September, okay? More on that later. But this week, let's talk about what we've got going on. Today, it's Monday, August 5th. Happy, beautiful Monday to you. I hope you're treating Monday well so that Monday will treat you well, depending on where you're at in the world. And today, it's interesting because I feel like on an emotional level, we've got the moon traveling through the energy of Libra, which is balance. It's compromise. It's harmony. It's partnerships. It's willingness to hear all sides of every story, right? There's a very balanced kind of energy happening here now. Today, the moon is also in beautiful, beautiful energy with all the friendlies. With Jupiter, even though he's retrograde, Venus is our smaller benefic planet, and she's not retrograde, but he's still in good form over there. The sun and Mars. Now, later in the day, we are going to see the moon coming into a little bit of conflict with both Saturn and Pluto. So what this tells me about your Monday potentially is that not only is there change happening, right? You're trying to change in some way, and it's in a reaction way because remember, the moon governs your reaction. The moon in Libra could be in your partnerships, in areas where you feel like you have to control things. Where are you needing to kind of die off and live a different way? Where is there an obstacle that could be presenting itself? With both Saturn and Pluto, these could be reactions that you've had from the past. Both Saturn and Pluto are still retrograde, so you may be re-looking over or being willing to change your behaviors, get a different perception, compromise even on things from the past. So it's a beautiful way to be moving through Monday, I think. Now, the next big bump of energy we really get, of course, the moon's going to travel on Tuesday through Libra for most of the day and then move into the energy of Scorpio. And yes, honey, that gets just deep. You want to dig. You want to get all that information out, okay? But now our next really big bump for the week is going to come on Wednesday, August 7th. The sun and Jupiter are going to come into trine together, and Jupiter is still retrograde at this point. But a trine is a harmonious energy, typically. Now, a trine is a pocket of energy that is useful. There's opportunity there. There's something that you can do. It's a blessing. It's a good point of energy, but you can also really waste a trine because it looks or feels too easy, right? Maybe the energy is just too natural or comes too easy to you, or an opportunity sweeps in and you're like, where did that come from? Why did it come so easily? So you're very much so questioning it. But instead, I would tell you to question it, but question it from the perspective of, does this add to my good luck? Does this add to my prosperity? Does this bring me abundance? Do not be afraid to make decisions. Mercury is out of retrograde. Yes, we're still in some shadow, but Mercury is pretty savvy here, so allow the abundance to come your way. Now, on Thursday, August 8th, we've got Venus, who's going to come into a trine with Jupiter. Venus is our small benefic planet. Jupiter is our big benefic planet. And even with Jupiter retrograde, he's still a gift giver. That guy's a giver. He wants you to have good things. So where you have an opportunity to really use this, depending on where it's happening in your chart, use those energies. But in general, when Venus gets into the connection, this brings a harmonious aspect to relationships, to finance, and to self-esteem. So any place you need to brighten and tighten up, right? Get a better attitude about this. You could even see a little bit of windfall coming your way. That is a definite potential. You've been waiting for that raise. You've been waiting for some money to come through. You've been looking for a sweet day to like get some romance going in your life. Or if relationships are the last thing you're thinking about, romance you. Romance you. When's the last time you gave you a body massage, right? So think about all of that stuff as we continue to travel through the week. Okay, you guys, now big news. All the big movements and happenings really kick down to Sunday, August 11th. It's a big day. We've got busyness in the sky, okay? Now, first and foremost, it's kind of like we're doing the little cha-cha. Like if you remember, I talked about the dance happening in your yearly, so you're going to dance this week. Now, the first one is we've got the forward motion of Jupiter. Jupiter's going to come out of retrograde August 11th. You guys, this is literally what we have been waiting for, right? With Jupiter forward, we get this opportunity to expand. We get to get out, and it's not in a past motion. It's not waiting for those benefits to come to you. It's not waiting for those opportunities to show up. You're not cloudy in your mind about it. Jupiter is like, boom, let's go, let's do it. Now, he comes out of retrograde August 11th. And remember, when a planet is changing direction, when it's hitting its station, that can be when there's a little bit more drama, upheaval, shakeup, whatever, right? But that only lasts a couple days. Now, also keep in mind that just because he's coming out of retrograde and coming direct that day, doesn't mean he's exactly ready to just like throw you an abundance party. You might have to wait a couple days, let him resume his orbit. But just as equally, depend on who he's interacting with your chart. This is just a day. If you've been in retrograde with this for 4 months, what changes have you seen you need to make in order to grow, in order to be more abundant? Because see, Jupiter is not just trying to bring you gifts for you, right? That is not the wisdom of Jupiter. Jupiter is like, I'm going to bring you information, opportunities, abundance, and your job is to share that outside of yourself. Be very clear that Jupiter is not bringing you something just for you. What abundance, prosperity, opportunities, good luck you've gotten from the Jupiter energy, take it out and share. That's the wisdom of that particular energy. So any changes you've been thinking about, any things you've been dealing with, now will be the time going forward. You can make those sweeping changes. You can make those big deal kind of swaps. Okay. Now, also we have got on the same day, we've got Mercury moving back into the energy of Leo. Remember when Mercury came into retrograde, we danced between Leo and Cancer energies, came out of that retrograde in Cancer energy. Now we're going to have forward motion. So again, we've got Jupiter, who is our higher mind thinking planet. We've got Mercury, who's of the smaller mind, but very savvy. So both of our mental decision-making planets are in super forward motion, right? Not only is Mercury out of retrograde, but he is in his orbit and continuing to move his trek around the zodiac. So you've got beautiful forward motion. Now, Mercury in Leo. Keep in mind that this energy is like, yes, it's grandiose, okay? Mercury in Leo is not subtle. It's conversational. And Leo is a giver, right? Leo is a giver. They like to give. They want you to feel good, so they give you a little something. So share information, share ideas, share thoughts, communicate things, and communicate you. Have a little bit of pride in what you have to communicate this week and what you have to give. You've got Mercury and Leo here for 3 weeks. We've just had a new moon happening in Leo to end the month and roar. I said it in the video. This is not the time in our energetic situation to pull the coward card. It is just not. This is the time to put your stuff out there. I'm telling you, I have to stress again, August, September are critical times. Make your moves, get organized, put your forward motion in go, so that as we move into 2020 and we're doing a whole bunch of retrograding, you're prepared, right? You're just making adjustments to what you're fixing. Okay, later that exact same day, we've got Uranus taking his retrograde. And it's kind of like with Uranus taking a retrograde, it already has an orbit that's so different than any of the rest of the planets that when it goes retrograde, they call it the dragon, right? Because it's still like you're either getting the head or you're getting the tail of the dragon. And it's not a bad thing. It is not a bad thing. But because he's going to go retrograde and go to sleep for about 5 months, what you're going to have the benefit of help of this week is that you've got all this stuff ready to move you forward, and you'll feel the greater energy of it, I think, next week. But with Uranus retrograde, those BS ideas that you have, and we do, every single one of us, I don't care if you've been working yourself at a spiritual level for 100 years, we have old ideas, old ties, old karma, old whatever that binds us. Fears that are current, and I like to call it current agnosticism, right? This current belief that the universe is not going to show up and have our backs, and we kind of stutter step instead of getting out there living big, living like it's all already taken care of, right? So we get this Uranian energy going retrograde, and we're going to break free. We're going to break free from our old thinking. We're going to rebel against that old version of us that's like, no, maybe we can't. Maybe who am I, right? It's going to break free from these ideas that keep us from being big and abundant. But I think also because Uranus is an outer planet at a global level, I think it will show you where to break free from some of the ideas that are a part of this universal global chaos that's going on right now. It's very exciting. We're moving towards 2020. We've got a lot that's going to be happening in the political arena in 2020. There's a lot of astrology around that. We've got things going on in littler communities, big things that stir us up and would seek to send us back into those caves of fear instead of fortune and abundance, and having a voice and having a path and having a voice where you can go and help people, right? So I think that this also is going to help us break free from a lot of the patterns of this universal fear and chaos that would seek to keep us small. It's going to have you questioning your own belief and ideas about what you think, about what you've believed. And I'm going to tell you, I really very seriously believe that in the United States political climate that we've got going on, we're getting ready with this Uranus retrograde to see a lot of changes, even in how the president is doing things. And I look forward to watching that with you, because it forces each of us to keep universal eyes open. And to do that, we've got to detach from some of the opinions that we have had about all sorts of political things, right? That's not to sway you one way or the other. It's to say change is happening. Change is here and it is amongst us. So, and we're going to see changes in technology. This is another thing. Let me throw this out and I'm going to end your video, okay? During this next 5 months with Uranus retrograde, if you have had fear, if you have had holdbacks, if you have not been making progress in the technological arena, this will be a time for you to learn. It will be like your goggles are on and the lenses are so clear. You can learn with this Uranian energy. So make sure that you locate where Uranus is at in your chart. Right now, he's traveling through the energy of Taurus. When he goes retrograde on the 11th, it's going to be at 6 degrees of Taurus. So really, let me tell you, in your Taurus energies, in those first 6 degrees, is where you really need to watch and pay attention. If you are a 14-degree Taurus like I am, or you are a 27-degree Taurus, you're going to get the influence of Uranus in our sign, right? But if you are at 0 to 6 degrees, this is where Uranus is working very hard right now. So some of you may be feeling that very intensely. Or the house placement where those energies at, that's where you may be feeling the most energy to kind of rebel, kind of move things forward, kind of break free. So keep that in mind. It's not just Uranus is in Taurus, so we're all getting a dose. It's not working really on the later Taurans too much yet, but we are. If you are a Taurus or where your Taurus placements are, You have probably had to deal with your health. You have probably had to deal with your body. Uranus has been like, no, we're not. You have been playing around. You've been neglecting this. And so you've probably had to take looks at your health and your body because Taurus is of the body as well. So lots and lots. Sorry, I went off the track just a little bit there. But I want you guys to have a big, brilliant, beautiful week. I cannot wait to see what you get out there, what you create, what you manifest, what information comes to you. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of feel like I'm in a very informational time where things are just coming to me, and I feel like it's showing me how to set it up for down the road. So leave in the comment section down below if you feel comfortable. What are you working on? What's coming to you? Because I'm sending love. I'm sending lots of support for everything that you are working on as well. Again, don't forget that you can catch a weekly, more in-depth and conversational version of the weekly horoscope at the astrologyhub.com podcast. It is in the comment section down below. If you've got any questions about that as well, please just let me know. If you're looking for a reading, time to check in on that solar return, progress chart, any of that kind of good stuff, I have definitely got your back, okay? All right, you guys, like this video, comment, share, subscribe. I'm sending you so much love for the week of August 5th, and I will see you next week. Bye, everybody.